Hey guys, Harry here to bring you this preview video for Dungeon Map Maker, a game in which you will draw a dungeon map in the first half of the game and then explore that map in the second half of the game, aiming to complete a main quest and battle monsters along the way. So that's the gist of the game. And this whole game has only been made possible thanks to our Kickstarter backers, which helped get behind it and support the creation of the game earlier on this year. So thank you guys for supporting this one. I'm really looking forward to getting this one out to you, and I'm pleased to say that the game is planned to be released on August 31st this year, so about 4 weeks away from now. So with that in mind, the version I'll show today is close to finished, although there may be some minor changes here or there. But I'm pretty confident that I can share how it plays with you today, and it won't be that much different. But that said, this will not be a how to play video, more just a casual playthrough to give you a sense of how the game works. So yeah, but if you do have a question, feel free to leave a question or a comment in the comment section, and I'll try to respond to that as soon as I can. This is a game set up for the mapping phase. We have our dungeon sheet here. We have our writing equipment here. I'm using a pen today with some emergency correction fluid if needed. Mostly just using a pen so it shows up better on the camera. But when you're playing the game, or when I play the game usually, a pencil or eraser is probably the better option, because it is easy to make mistakes or make last minute changes, things like that. Then we also have dice here. You need a 2d6 and a d20, and then we have our dungeon cards. There are 6 sets of dungeon cards, and 6 with 6 numbers in them, 1 through to 6. So there are a total of 36 dungeon cards, and you can mix and match the sets. The main thing is one of each number is represented. So I've got 1A, 2F, 3F, 4B, 5F, and 6D, and I'm actually going to write these numbers next to our quests here. So there we go. I've recorded the quest numbers here, and this is where we will record the results of the mapping phase. The key thing with the quests that we'll be undertaking is that we need to pass the main quest by reaching a threshold of 10 time, which is the resource that allows us to explore rooms in the exploration phase. And in this particular quest, we earn time by having as many rooms as possible between the room that has the dungeon entrance in it and the room that has the boss in it. So that's what we'll try to kind of create a maze-like dungeon leading to the boss with this particular quest. So that's what we have to keep in mind as we're creating our map. And then we also have side quests that are going to help us earn gold during scoring at the end of the mapping phase. I won't go through each of these criteria right now, but I will go through when I score the map after we finish the mapping phase. So we are ready to go, and we start each round by rolling 3 dice. And then we record the results, and we use the D20 to add an icon to the specified area in our dungeon. So there are 20 areas, and so 15 is going to be here. And in the first round, that icon must be the dungeon entrance. And then with the 2d6, we use these numbers to select a room. In this case, either a room from card 2 or card 6. And then for the other number, that will be how many openings branching off the room. Now, openings can then be used to make doorways to connect to other rooms. So in other words, if I chose a room from card 6, then I would need to add 2 openings to that room. Whereas if I choose a room from card 2, then that's going to have 6 openings. And I think what I might do in this case is I think we'll go with the cavern room. And the reason I want to start with that is because the rooms at the bottom of the card also help us earn a scroll, which is a useful item that can help us subtract or add 1 to any die result. It can also help us reposition a monster, and it can also help us dead end any opening that isn't connected to another opening. So I'm going to go ahead and add our dungeon entrance, and then also add the room that the dungeon entrance is going to be part of. There is a small also exception here, that when you're adding the dungeon entrance, usually it will be inside the room, but if you want it to be, you can also have it adjacent and leading into the room. So that's really up to you as a player. But anyway, let's go ahead and add that room now. Okay, so there we go. I've added a cavern here. Now, cavern is actually a bit of a unique room in that it can be any size or shape, but the sides may only bend at 45-degree angles. So it's a bit more of a free-form room, whereas the other rooms you do need to follow the dimensions that are listed. But I've added the cavern, and I've added the 2 openings. And because a cavern gives us a scroll, I've also circled here to show that we have 1 scroll available to us. When we use a scroll, we just shade that in to show that it's been exhausted. So that's the basic round. Now, from now on, when the D20 is going to give us a spot to put a monster, and in some cases we'll be able to instead put a loot chest, but usually monsters are going to result from the D20. So let's see what we have next. 16, 1, and 1. 16, 1, and 1. Now, another rule in Dungeon Mapmaker is, in the mapping phase, if you roll doubles with the 2d6, you are able to re-roll that if you wish. However, in this case, I think I'll just keep the 1s, because I think that'll be okay. So I'm going to accept the double 1s, and and we'll go back to the 16. We can use the D20 to either add a monster or a loot icon. Now, we can only add a loot icon if we're adding it to a room inside the area that already has more monsters than loot. Because there aren't any rooms inside this area anyway, we're not able to add a loot icon. So we're going to have to add a monster. But even if there was a room here and it did have a monster in it, then we could add the loot, or we could just choose to add another monster. So adding loot is always optional in this way. The only other way to add loot to your dungeon is some rooms actually have loot in kind of predetermined in the room as it is, such as this Sunken Temple room here. But the disadvantage of these rooms is they're usually quite big, so they do take up a lot of space in the dungeon. But anyway, so I'm going to have to add a monster here. And at this point, I do want to actually mention a little bit about some of the quests, and in particular this quest that I'll be doing, which is going to give us 1 gold for each icon or doorway on an area numbered space. So this means if I cover this 16, that will actually earn 1 gold during scoring, which is going to be then useful for the second half of the game, where we'll be going to a shop to buy any items for our exploration phase. So so I'm going to add the monster here, and then I'm going to choose a room from the 1 card, and it's going to have 1 opening, and it just has to, so the room isn't connected, doesn't need to be connected to the monster you add, it just needs to be connected to your existing network of rooms. So the D20 and the 2d6 are different in those ways. Anyway, I'll stop rambling and I'll go ahead and add that room and add the monster. Alright, there we go. So I have added the monster here into the area 16, and I have chosen the torture chamber and connected its 1 opening to an existing opening here. And when you do that, you actually create a doorway, and what you can do is you can add kind of a doorway icon to remind you that that these rooms are separate, because as you add a lot of rooms, sometimes they can, if you don't add the doorway icon, they can tend to blur together a little bit. So that's that done. Oh, and the torture chamber was a scroll room as well, so I need to collect a scroll here. Okay, narrator Harry jumping in, because at this point of the video I've explained the main rules, and just to keep the video length down, I'm just going to speed my way through. So look at me go, drawing all these rooms, and then we're going to meet up with me as I finish the map and do the final scoring now. And yeah, that's it. So here's our dungeon. We played 14 rounds, and now it's time to score. One thing, sorry, there's one important step that I forgot, and that is we need to choose one of the monsters in our dungeon to become the dungeon boss. And in this case, there are two considerations that we have to make. One of them is our main quest, which in this case is going to give us two time per room in the most direct route from the dungeon entrance to the boss. And we need to get at least 10 for that. So if we made it this monster here, that would only give us 2 rooms. That would only give us 4 gold, and that would mean that we'd actually fail the main quest, and at that point you fail all the other quests. So we can't choose that monster. If we chose one of these guys, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would actually be 10, so that would be okay to choose one of these guys. But I'm thinking the best option is going to be this guy up here in the shrine, because that the most direct route is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's going to be 7. So that's going to be the best option for our main quest, because that'll give us 14 time. Also, there's a dedicated boss quest which is always card number 6, and in this case it gives us the amount of gold per area number that the boss is in. So that would mean that this boss is in area 16, so we get 16 gold just for this quest. So that's an easy way to get gold as well. So I think we have to go with this guy, and we just circle a monster to show that they're now the boss. They still count as a monster for the other quests that you may be scoring, but yeah, that guy's the boss. All right, and we have some openings that aren't finished, but we'll get to that in a moment. Now we go through and we score each quest. The first one we calculated before, but just again, we get 2 time per room in the most direct route from the dungeon entrance to the boss, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we earned 14 time for that. For quest number 2, we get 1 gold for each icon or doorway on an area number space. 6, so just 6 gold for quest number 2. Quest number 3, 2 gold per unique room in the dungeon. So these rooms that we repeated, such as the shrine room and the miner's rest room, don't count, but the other ones do. Yeah, so 7. So 7 times 2 gives us 14. That's pretty good. 14 gold for that one. For quest number 4, we get, if a room has 2 monsters in it, we get 2 gold. If it has 3 monsters in it, we get 5 gold. Yeah, we had this one had 2, so that's worth 2 gold, and this one had 3, so that's worth 5 gold. So that means we get 7 gold for quest number 4, the monster quest. Next we have our loot quest. We're going to get 5 gold per loot on an outermost space. So I should have been thinking about that one a little bit more when I placed this loot, because I could have easily put it on an outer space, which would have given us 5 gold. So that was a bit of a mistake, but as it is, we don't have any loot on outer spaces, so we don't earn anything for that. Next is, and finally, is D. We get 16 gold because we placed our boss in the 16th area, so that's pretty good. And then we lose gold for any dead ends we need to make and any lost monsters. So for the dead ends, if we had any spare scrolls, we could actually just spend the scrolls instead of losing the gold, but we don't. So yeah, so we are going to lose gold for that. And for lost monsters, we don't have any lost monsters, but they would be any monsters that you've added to an area but you weren't able to enclose within a room. So in that case, we don't have it. In this case, we don't have any. So That's good, but we do have 3 dead ends, I believe. So, and that's 1, 2, 3. So these rooms have these 3 dead ends coming off them, and then we lose 3 gold. So that gives us 20, 27 plus 16 equals 43, minus 3 equals 40. Alright, so that's 40 gold that we can then spend in the next section of the game. So yeah, that's the mapping phase done, and in a moment we'll get started on the exploration phase. And we are back. Here is the exploration phase all set up for us to play. We have flipped over all of our dungeon cards to the exploration side, and we can see that the main quest card from the mapping phase is now our main quest for our exploration phase. On that same card also has details of things that we can find when we search the dungeon. Then all of the room cards are now different monsters, including the boss that we can find in the dungeon. We also have some cubes to track our character's health and location, as well as the monster's health and location. And then most notably, I guess, is the character sheet, which you need for the exploration phase. You do need 1 sheet per exploration phase, but you could always use a pencil or laminate the sheet and reuse it multiple times. We also have an occupation card that is kind of like the character class that gives us our starting traits and also some other information. So, and one more thing is, after the mapping phase, I went through and I numbered each room, and we just need to number the rooms so that we can track the time that we're spending in the dungeon as we go along. I numbered them in roughly the order that I added the rooms during the mapping phase, but actually the numbers don't matter at all. You could even use letters. The numbers are just to track which rooms you've been in. So so any system of numbering is fine for that. And yeah, but with that in mind, I think we can go ahead and create our character. So with the exploration, it's going to be divided up into two kind of sections. There's a setup phase, which I'll take you through now, and then after that we're obviously going to be exploring the dungeon proper. Alright, so first thing we do is we just record we need to record our time that we gain from the mapping phase, and this is the time track here. We gain 14 time, and so we can add 4 more squares, like so. There are already 10, because you need a minimum of 10 to pass the mapping phase. That's why 10 are already outlined for you there. And then after that, we can look at our character and see our character's health, which is 13. So we get 1 extra health there. Our character's movement is 4. This is their max movement. So you add a 4 here. Our character's max block is 2. So we add a 2 here. And their basic max attack is 2 as well. Then we have a choice of these 2 weapons options. The staff will damage any enemies surrounding our character by 2, whereas the whip will damage any enemies by 3, but the attack pattern is a bit different. So I think the staff is going to be I'm filling the staff. I'm going to go the staff here, and we add that to any one of these 6 weapons slots. In this case, I'm not really sure which is best, but I think maybe I'll go with the number 6. So meaning that anytime I roll a number 6, I'm able to use that to use the staff. So yeah, I think I'll do that. And so I can go ahead and add that. So I've added the staff here. I've written its attack value, its name, and also the attack pattern. There are also icons here for a bow and a sword, as these actions come up frequently, and so you can just trace one of these icons if you do get a bow or a sword, rather than writing the attack pattern. So that's the stuff. The next thing we do is we also start with a spell stone, which is effectively the kind of magic that you use in the game. And the spell stone can be put in any of these slots. However, you can only use a spell if you have collected the essence enough essence on the essence track to activate it. So if I wanted to use, so obviously 7 is going to come up more frequently if I'm rolling 2d6. However, I wouldn't be able to use that spellstone until I've filled up the essence track all the way up here, meaning I wouldn't be able to use it straight away, maybe if ever during a particular exploration phase. Essence, I should point out, is earned by defeating monsters. So with that in mind, I think it makes sense to add our spellstone in slot 12, so then we'll be able to access that earlier, even though we would need double sixes to be able to use that. But it is quite a powerful spell. It gives us the ability to instantly defeat all minions in a room, which is pretty strong. So let's go ahead and add that spellstone. Okay, so I've added that in there. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but I would always recommend using a pencil. If just writing directly, I'm only using a pen, as it might show up a bit better on camera. Oh, I should also just indicate that's our max health there. All right, and lastly we have, or not lastly, but we also have an ability to keep in mind, which is as a monk, we can heal 1 immediately after defeating a monster. So that's pretty handy. And the really last thing we can do is we can add a name. We can give our character a name, and this guy can be Harold. Harold, there we go. And there's also space here if you wanted to just write the ability and draw your own character. You also have that option as well. One thing to mention as well with this starting weapon, once we've chosen that, we can't go ahead and change that during the exploration phase. So we are locked into the staff, to using the staff for the rest of this game. Aside from that, we also have space for fragments, which we're not going to collect in this game because that's part of a different main quest. Leftover gold and any relics that we collect. The last thing we need to do before we venture into the dungeons, we're going to visit the shop. And here is this particular shop. The shop has 6 items we can buy, with the costs listed here. If you remember, we have 40 gold to spend at the shop, so we're not going to be able to buy the bottom 2 items, but we could buy any of the top 4 and perhaps multiple of the top 3 if we decide to do that. I think, yeah. So the top 3, by the way, are temporary items. So these are items that you just use once to help you along your way. Whereas the 4th and 5th are both weapons, and then the last one is a relic, which is identified by the star. So one thing we need to keep in mind is when we're in the dungeon, we always need to spend a key to open a loot chest. And we can find keys in the dungeon. However, I want to be able to open at least one to start with. So I think we want at least one dungeon key. Actually, that should be dungeon key. Sorry, that's a slight mistake there. It should be dungeon key because there's only one. Previously, this card had 2, but that's why it's keyring. But it should just be one dungeon key. So that's going to be 1 key we'll spend 15 gold on. So that gives us 25 gold left, and we may as well use it to buy the other 2 temporary items, which is an old helmet that lets us block all monster attacks for 1 turn, and an unidentified catch, which is like an item that can heal you, but it can also hurt you as well. So hopefully we can use that to heal us later. Now at that point we've spent 27.33, so we have 7 left, but you cannot buy the same item more than once, so we could not buy another unidentified catch. So we're left with 7 leftover gold, and just for the purposes of showing you how that would work, even though I'm just going to do the one playthrough, I'm not going to use this character more than once, I will just add the leftover gold here. So you just add that, and then if you were to do another adventure in the future, you could, and you did another mapping phase and you earned 50 gold, for example, then you would have 57 gold for the next shop phase. But that's it for the shop phase, and I think we're all set to go. So now we begin. And we begin at the dungeon entrance. I'm going to use blue cubes to track our character. In the first room, you have to start by seeing if there are any monsters in the room, and there are. And which monster we confront is decided by a roll of the D20, and it could be any one of these 4 monsters, but not the boss, because the boss is predetermined. So let's see which monster we get in this case. 1 would be a crab. So so 1 is going to be the weakest type of monster, 1 through 6, and then they get stronger the higher the number is. So let's use a red to track the crab, and we'll put a red here. All right, so now we're ready to start the round of combat. And the way that works is we roll all 3 dice. And I might just put this here. It doesn't matter to obscure the rest of the dungeon for now. And we got 16, 5, and 1. So for 16 is always going to be the monsters, reflect what the monster's going to do. And the 5 and the 1 can be used by us to act. Okay? So essentially with both phases of the game, the 2d6 represents how we can act, whereas the d20 shows us kind of what the dungeon is dishing up. And yeah, in this case, it's a 16, and if we look at the attack table here, the crab is going to block 2 attacks. So if we attack the crab, it's going to negate our damage by 2. We have a 1 and a 5. So we could do a few things. We could move 1 to get closer, but then we wouldn't be able to attack. So to attack, we need to get a bit closer, and then we need to hit the monster. Now, one problem with the staff is, although the good thing is it can attack all around our character, but the bad thing is that it's only going to do 2 damage. So these numbers aren't super great for us. But one thing you can always do is you can always re-roll 1 die or both once per round of combat. So I'm going to do that. Although I don't think it's going to really matter, but let's see what we get. 4 and 3. Okay, so that doesn't really matter too much to us. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get into range to attack. So I just move 1, 2, 3. So let's say I use the move. And so with the skills, you can use the skills. Let me talk about skills a little bit. I haven't mentioned that. So with skills, the first one is focus. That is, you just use use 1 die and discard it, and then add or subtract 1 to the other die, which can be useful. The other one is move up to your maximum move, which is 4 in my case. If I were to place a 5 or a 6, then I wouldn't. That would have no effect. So you do need to have you can't go over the number with these 3 skills. The next one is to block. I can block up to 2, and that's just reducing a monster's attack by up to 2. And then I can do a basic attack for 2 as well, and that's I could attack any monster that's next to me, pretty much. But in this case, I'm just using. It doesn't really matter which I use. I'm going to use move, and I'm just going to get next to the crab, and then that's my turn done. And then on the crab's turn, he's just going to block, so he's not going to attack either. So bit of a stalemate in the first round, but no health lost, which is good. All right, and we'll see what happens next. All right, 1, 4, and 5. Oh, oops. 1, 4, and 5. Okay, so I could focus with the 4 to make that a 6 and then use the staff. I could do that. But then the crab is going to, because the crab rolled a 1, the crab's going to attack me for 4, which could be, which might not be great. Another option is I could try to move out of the way with the 4, and then, Yeah, and then maybe attack the crab before I do that. Yeah, so I think I'm going to try that. So I'm going to re-roll this, hope to get either a 6 or a 2 or 1 to first attack the crab and then move out of the way. So let's try that. 5. Oh, okay. So I just missed out. I just missed on that, whiffed on that attack. Of course, I could focus with it, but I'd be doing 2 damage and then receiving 4. So I think for now, this crab's getting a bit vicious and I just want to get out of the way. So I can't use the 5 in this case. And I'm going to use the 4 just to move 1, 2, 3. And I can't move into this partial space. You can only move into full spaces in this game. Now it's the crab's turn, and this is their movement here. So that's one reason I knew I could get out of the way, is their movement is only 2. So they're a bit slow, and they're going to always try to move towards your character and then attack them once they're in range. So, and if they can't get within range, they'll still move towards your character. So, and in this case, I can move it here or here. And really, it's up to you. You can choose where you want to move it. So, as long as it's moving as close as it can get to your character. So, let's say the crab moves there, and they go to nip me, but I'm just out of reach. All right, and then we roll again for the next round. 6, 5, 4. All right, that's good. Now, I like the 6 because that gives us access to the staff, so I'm going to keep that because I want to start wailing on this crab. And then I roll a 3. That's not ideal, but that's all right. So I'm going to start by using the 6. I shouldn't. This is probably obvious by now, but your character will always act before the monsters in combat. So it's always your character, and then the monsters take their turn, even if there's multiple monsters. All right, so I've used the 6, and that has done 2 damage all around me, meaning that the crab has been hit for 2, so it's now on 3 health. It's the crab. Oh no, I also have a 3, which I can really only use to move, and it doesn't really matter where I move because I'm still going to be in the crab's path. So I think I'm just gonna stay where I am actually, and just let the crab attack me. I could use a block, but I think I'm going to save my block for now. So I'm just not going to do anything with 3. The crab's going to move forward 1, and then it's going to attack me for 4, as per its attack table. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm on 9 health. So that's not great, but remember we do heal 1 after we defeat any monster, so we'll start to hopefully recover. And now I'm going to want to get maybe a 1, 2, and a 6 would be great on my next turn. Let's see. 11, 2, and 3. Okay. Let's keep the 2. And let's re-roll the 3. Oh. And it was a 6. It was a 6. Okay. And and this was an 11 as well. So on an 11, the crab is going to block. So the good thing is we're not going to suffer any damage, but the bad thing is we probably could have killed the crab had they not blocked this turn. But anyway, they just knew we were going to attack. The crab was ready. So we're going to use the 6 for our staff and the 2 for our basic attack, and both are going to do 2 damage. Actually the staff is going to be, well, let's say we do the staff first. That would get blocked because the crab blocks us for 2. So that does nothing. But then on our basic attack, which we can do because we're next to the crab, that is going to do 2 damage because the block's already been used up. So the block is the total for the total attacks. It can take effect not per attack. So we do 2 damage, bringing the crab's health to 1, and of course the crab has blocked on their turn, so they don't attack. So the crab's on its last legs. Let's hope to get. We really just need a 1, 2, or 6, and we can take it out. All right, we got the 1. But the crab is blocking us. That is unfortunate. All right, that pesky crab. Alright, I think, well, we'll keep the 1. Yeah, we'll keep the 1 and we'll re-roll the 5. And we got a 3. Oh, that's unfortunate because the crab's going to block us again. And we're not, yeah. I can move away. I could use the 3 to move away. But at this point, I'm not going to, yeah. So we're going to attack the crab with a 1. It's going to block us. And then we're going to have to move on to the next round. Alright, crab's going to attack us this time with it. They rolled a 2. But before they get a chance to do that, we're going to attack the crab. And that's good night for Mr. Crab. Alright, so that's the combat round done in the first room. So we defeated the crab and we earned 1 essence, which we would fill from here. Okay, so now we just need 4 more and we'll be able to start to use our first spellstone. Now, at the end of the round, you can collect any loot, or you can search and then collect loot. In this case, there are no loot chests in the room, so we can search. The way searching works is you're going to roll 3. The 3 dice, and you want to have the sum equal one of these numbers. If it does, you'll immediately collect that item, and each time you roll, you can choose to lock and then re-roll the other dice, or you can choose to re-roll all the dice, but you just get 3 turns. So let's try to get a 10, 20, or a 30. Oh, I also forgot that our ability was we heal 1 when we defeat a monster, so we do go back up to 10. Oh, 10 health, because we are a monk. We use the crab's life force to heal. All right. So let's search the room. Oh, 11, 3, and 3. So we're now on 17. I think I'll keep the 11 and then hope to roll a 9 with the other 2 dice. Okay, so that's not a 9. So that was the second attempt. Now, so this will be the last attempt. And it's a 9. Nice. So we got 20. And so we do collect the soothing leaf. So we found a soothing leaf, which lets us heal 3. So these temporary items, although they'll all have different names. Oh, the keyring is wrong again. Another thing I need to fix. Although they have different names, you don't need to be writing the names of every item all the time. You can just circle to show that you have that available. Alright, so that's nice. Now, I could use that straight away and just heal 3, but I think I'll hold off for now because I still have 10 health, so I'm good. And the last thing we need to do is just record the room we're in, and we can just put a check mark just to remind ourselves that we have searched that room already. But if you don't feel you need to write that, you don't need to. If we reach the end and we haven't completed our main quest, then that's one way we fail. And if we run out of health, that's another way that we fail our main quest. Okay, narrator hurry, jumping back in just to save a bit of time. So I went through the next few rooms, gained a bit of essence, lost a bit of health, and finally I'm getting closer to that final boss room. Let's see what happens in the next encounter just before the boss room. Let's see which kind of monster it is. 16. Okay, so 16 is we're going to have a cave bear to contend with. So this is a beast type monster, and they can be a bit more deadly, although cave bear is also a bit sloppy. He tends to stumble around a lot as well. So that's not, so we do have a chance against this cave bear, but let's see what happens. All right, so the first round of combat. Roll, and we get 6. So cave bear's going to attack, it was 6. So cave bear's going to attack us for 5. And we can do some damage to it though. So, yeah, I think the move here is just to try to take it out as quickly as possible, rather than bother with any blocking or anything like that. And because we happen to be next to the cave, but yeah, so I'm not going to re-roll that. I'm going to accept the 1 and the 6, and gonna do 3 damage. Take 3 health away from the old cave bear. Then the cave bear's turn. He's gonna attack us for 5. So we lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 health. Alright, that was a big hit. We're down to 6 health. We do have two sets of healing items that we can use. So we're not totally out of it. And the cave bear's down to 8. So fingers crossed. Alright, let's see what we have next. 4. Oh, this is not good. This is not good because the cave bear is going to try to attack us for 7. Oh dear. Alright, so I think we're going to need to heal first. It's time to heal. We know when we're beat, so let's heal. 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's make sure we at least do some damage this. Yeah, or do I re-roll? Yeah, no, I'm going to re-roll. So, oh, great. All right, 6 and 2. 6 and 2. I'm going to use the staff. I could use the attack. Or do I block? No, I'm going to block, actually. I'm going to block, and I'm going to attack with the staff. So, I attack first for 2. Cave bear's down to 6 health. And then I block for 2. Then it's a cave bear's turn. They don't need to move to attack me because we opened the door and there was a bear suddenly. But they do 7 damage to us minus the 2 from the block, so they do 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're down to 4. So this is getting pretty dire. And it's time for another round, and I think it's time for another healing item because that pesky bear is danger. So, all right, so let's see what's next. All right. 4, 2, and 3. So the hits just keep on coming from this bear. Now, 4, 2, and 3. So I think we really need to re-roll the 3 because the one problem is the bear. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one problem with a small room like this is that we can't really get away from the bear because we're never going to get far enough away where they can't attack us. So that is one danger of these small rooms. Another option could be that we just move out of the room, but which is called fleeing, which you can do. But once you flee the room, you can never return to it. Thematically, you've barricaded the doors, you've stopped whatever's in there from getting out, but also prevented you from getting back in there. So I don't really want to do that just yet, but the bear is going to attack by quite a bit. So, all right, I'm going to keep the 2. And I'm going to hope to roll something better with the 3. 2. Okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. Alright. I'm going to block 2 and I'm going to attack 2. So my basic attack does 2 damage to the cave bear. They're now on 4. So they're taking some hits as well. And I do block for 2, but they're going to attack me for 7 minus the 2. So that's 5, meaning that I'm down to 2 health. Oh dear. All right. So, and they're on 4 health. I'm on 2 health. I really need a 6 and a 2 in this final round, or I at least hope that the cave bear doesn't do so much damage this time. 9, 4, and 4. That is not great. 9, 4, and 4. Let's see. All right, I'm going to re-roll this. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. That's bad news. All right, so I have one last trick. Well, 2 last tricks up my sleeve. I could use this hurt heal action, but in doing so, I might if I roll basically the way this works is you roll a d6. If you get a 1, 2, or 3, you heal that amount. But if you get a 4, 5, or 6, if you get a 1, 2, or 3, you lose that amount of health. So if I rolled a 2, I just die. But if I rolled a 4, 5, or 6, then I would heal that amount. So that could be good. Yeah, alright. I think I'm going to take a chance. Before I take my action, I'm going to... So these are my available numbers here. And I'm going to use this. And I just need to remember, so it's a 1 and a 3. So you can use temporary items basically whenever in this game, by the way. So, alright. So remember there was a 1 and a 3. 6. Very lucky. Alright. So I'm back to 8 health. So instead of being poisoned meat, that was some kind of... actually, what was it in the end? It was... unidentified catch, so it was some very special kind of healing item. Wow, phew. Alright, so that has saved me, and I'm back to having 1 and a 3 though, so just safe for now. I'm still going to take a bit of damage here, but I really just need to kill this bear before it does any more harm. So I'm going to use well, it doesn't matter which one I use. I'm going to focus, turn that into a 2. Do a basic attack to the bear for 2, so it's now on 2 health. It has a 9, so it's going to attack me for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now it's on 2 health and I'm on 3, but it just needs... I just need to attack it once with 2 to take it out. So let's see. 2, 5, 17. Alright, well finally the bear stopped attacking me so much, but in any case, we're able to use the 2 to do a basic attack and take the bear out. So that's the bear done, which is good, but that came at a cost. Only on 3 health, although I do heal 1 as part of my character's ability, my occupation's ability, I should say, and I also heal 3 because there's a healing well there. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm backed up to 7, so that's not too bad. And I also get the bear's essence, which is 3. So I'm now able to use the second spellstone I collected and placed in the 11 slot, which is good. And then we have our last room. Our last room is going to be room 14. And yes, we are going to face the boss. Alright, so the Hydra, with this boss, they attack as normal. The only difference is each row of its health affects its attack, and it also has a kind of life drain attack where it can attack us and then heal in the process. So yeah, so it's going to try to regrow and repair itself, and we are going to try to put a stop to it before it can do that, but it might be tough with our limited resources, but let's see what we can do. So we roll. Alright, they're going to do... So the Hydra's got 14, so they're going to attack us for 2 times the number of heads, which is 3. So they're going to attack us for 6. And okay. Alright, not great. What can we do? We can hit it. We can hit it for... I think we're going to have to re-roll here. We're going to have to try something different. Okay. Alright, not great, but that's alright. Let's hit it for 2. And then let's move 3 just to get out of its way. Although it's going to be able to get back in our way anyway, so that's kind of pointless. Yeah, that's a shame. Alright, yeah. Again, in hindsight, I wish I had have not made this a 6 and made it a lower number, maybe a 5 or a 4, but that's okay. So I've attacked the Hydra for 2, but it's going to come at me. Move forward, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to attack me for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all of that attack, all the damage I did, it's just recovered because it has this life drain attack where if it the amount of damage it does to you, it then gains back. So this could be Harold's last adventure, the way things are going, but never give up. All right, let's see what's next. 8, 6, and 6. 8, 6, and 6. All right, so we unfortunately the Hydra is not a it is not a minion. Otherwise, we could have killed it instantly if by using this spellstone. We haven't used any spellstones this game yet, so we can't use that. But we can at least use our staff. So we can think about using our staff, and then we can think of, let's re-roll this and hope to do some damage. Oops, 2. Okay, that's not bad. All right, so because we can do 4 damage to the Hydra, taking it from 14 to 10. Now it's gonna do, its action is 8, so it's going to attack us for 1 times 3. It's gonna attack us for 3. And we're down to 1 health, and it heals 3. Alright, so things are not looking good, but there's always a chance a Hydra could stumble with a 1, so let's see what happens next. Ooh, alright. 2, 8 again. Alright, we'll keep the 2 and we'll re-roll this. 5. Oh no. Alright. I think what we'll do, this is very unfortunate. Let's I tell you what, let's block. Yeah, we can't do anything with a 5. We really should have got another weapon, I think, in the shop. Oh well, we can't do anything with a 5, but we're gonna block the Hydra's attack. Yeah. And but we also have to heal. Have to do that. So I have to heal 3. We block the Hydra's attack. The Hydra attacks 3. So we lose 3 health. They heal 3. Well, they can't go beyond their max, so they're back to full health. We're almost dead. So this could be the end. 8, 3, and 5. Oh dear. 2 and 4. And I don't think there's anything we can do at this stage. The Hydra has our number because I can attack it for 2. I could block for 2, but then it's going to attack me for 3 due to what it rolled. So either way you look at it, we were defeated by the Hydra at the end, unfortunately. We got through a lot of monsters, and we weren't able to use our spellstones effectively in this case. But maybe in hindsight, maybe trying to take out some extra monsters here could have helped prepare us and given us more rooms to search through to maybe collect some more temporary items, or even an extra key that we could have used to open some more loot chests. But anyway, that is the exploration phase. I hope that gives you a sense of how that works. And again, there are going to be 6 characters that you can choose. So if you thought, oh geez, the monk is a bit weak, I wouldn't want to use that guy, there are other characters that you can use. And I think choosing the staff would have been good if I was in more rooms where they have multiple monsters in it. But as it was, the whip might have been a bit better because it does do a little bit more damage. And it's also worth mentioning that if you ever collect 15 essence, you're able to upgrade your maximum health, move, block, or attack. So trying to fight some of these monsters to then upgrade either a skill or my maximum health probably would have been a better option in the end. But anyway, that has been this preview of Dungeon Mapmaker. Thank you for getting to this point in the video if you're still with us. And again, thank you to all our Kickstarter backers for helping create this game. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and really looking forward to releasing it on August 31st. So so I look forward to that. But other than that, again, if you do have any questions, pop them in the comments. But thank you for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.